I would like to call Shri Ajay sir, Ajay ji. Sir is born and brought up in Pune, Maharashtra, and now is teaching yoga in Czech Republic. Sir has a rich family background in Hindu rituals, Sanskrit literature, yoga, Ayurveda, and Vedic astrology. Sir has studied the basics of yoga since childhood, and even after studying and working in the fields of IT and physics, sir, you choose the path of ancient science. This itself describes how deep is the ancient science is. Sir also holds a specialization degree in psychology of the religion from Annamalai University, and as a member of this Dev Sanskriti family, sir is constantly visiting us and is closely associated and connected with us. We are pleased to have you, sir, here, and I request you to please.
स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ आपो ज्योतिरसोऽमृतं ब्रह्मभूर्भुवस्वरो. Friends, students from Czech Republic and around the world who are here, students from Dev Sanskriti Vidyalaya, respected speakers, and dear brother Chaitanya ji. The times have changed, especially in last 30 to 50 years. The definitions, the practices of yoga have been changing since then. Yoga, which was part of family culture, which was exercised, which was talked about, thought about as part of one's living, suddenly has become a big work, business. Increasing popularity has also brought different aspects to yoga. And I would like to discuss with you a few of those aspects and issues related to what has been happening in those days, in these days, and how we are going to deal with them. In 60s, when yoga traveled towards popularity, especially from India to the West, it started taking a form of a very popular business. Indians who traveled, who were educated in India with some masters, suddenly realized that they can collect, they can encash on this knowledge. And different systems of yoga, first time since 3,000 years, different systems of yoga took birth around the world. Yoga became an exercise. If you look at the net worth of yoga industry, I'm really sorry to use the word industry, but I would stick to it for a while. Do you know what is the current worth of yoga industry? Any guesses you have? It's about $500 billion a year. You know how much that is in Indian? 5 lakh crore rupee. Definitely when such amount of money, it brings in a lot of different ideas how to encash upon it. What to do new? See, this is a very nice contradiction in terms. An ancient knowledge of yoga has to be taught with something new. New, what can we do about it so that we can make it new? Something, we have heard from different speakers that yoga is the perfect, well developed, well thought of, well understood piece of knowledge that can transform anyone's life all around the globe, whether it is an American, whether the person is an Indian or a Japanese. It is irrelevant because yoga is the science that we call the human science. What applies to a human is been talked about in yoga. What is perfect? How do we make it better? Is it possible? So when we change something, we actually have to take out something from it. And only then we can say, I have a new system of yoga. A very wise teacher of mine once said, one person while practicing makes a mistake, we call it a mistake. But when a group of people do it, we call it a new school of yoga. Such hundreds of different schools are around, and we hear about them regularly. Very simple things. I should give you some examples because otherwise it becomes a bit abstract. A gesture that we have been using for centuries. You know what gesture is that? It is called the Namaskara Mudra. Could you show me please how we do Namaskar in India? We put the hands together, and the same thing we do while exercising, this way, or we raise the hands up, and in different ways. Then we have to do something new. So what do? Have you seen such gestures where we put the hands together, but not in Namaskara Mudra, but in different other mudras? Have you seen? Show me please somebody quickly. Have you seen this thing? What is it? I call it the frightened James Bond. This is James Bond. Hold it above the head. Why? The question comes, why do we do it? Why we need to change something? Is it me? Is it an Indian who wants to change the gesture? No. We are satisfied with our own gesture which says it has a meaning. You know what is the meaning of this? It says, my hands are capable of doing something if I do something because of my hands. My hands are my capacity. Everything else, legs, the body, doesn't make me capable. What makes me different than animals, I can grab, I can hold, I can do things with it. When I put my hands together, that I don't do everywhere, I do it in front of my teacher, I do in front of the God, I do in front of the elders, more capable people, to show my capacity ends here, and now I have come to you. I have come to you for help, to learn. What does the God or the teacher do? Does he do the same to me? I'm also helpless. Go ahead, please. No, that he can't do. If we approach that person, the God, he would show us the hand. Why? It says, you see, you don't have the capacity. I do. I'll take care of you. So the humble approach towards the teacher is represented by the gesture of Namaskara. This, I still am looking for the meaning. Who invented it and why? This is what we call the New Age Yoga. The little complication with these new concepts is there are too many of them, and they are attracting people, masses. We would say when there are too many people liking something, it has to be correct. Could we make that statement? Is it a correct statement? When too many people like it, it has to be correct. But then there is Guruji, one person standing against the current, saying, no, stop there, turn around, look at what you are doing. It is not the popularity that we are looking for. It is something that is precise. And we have it. The precision, the perfection we already have in yoga, and it is given very systematically to us. It is given in terms of scriptures, it is given in terms of our teachers, the tradition of teachers. Then why are we shy to follow it? Then a very learned person recently said to me, because there is business, because there are huge egos involved. And every piece of ego and every piece of dollar, every piece of currency involved in it would make it impossible to change it. A very dark picture. I was stunned to hear it from the person. I had to take it because a very learned person. What we have done is a system that is supposed to take us towards non-duality. Yuj Sanyuge. Yoga, the word is defined in Yoga Sutra. Tato dvandva na abhidhitaha, where the duality does not exist. The seer is established into his own form. When the duality is not there, a tool which is supposed to make oneness, how come there is duality in yoga? The tool itself cannot be dual. The tool itself cannot have multiple paths, because this is about being one. This is about understanding one's own nature. How many natures one can have? And if there are many natures of oneself, I don't think we can even teach yoga, because there are 7 billion people and there should be 7 billion types of natures. Unfortunately, we shouldn't really worry about them in a yoga class. Should we? This happens because the students, the people who are students of yoga, are taking it as a belief system. I'm going to poke into you a little bit so that you can think, ask yourself some questions. When you went for a class of yoga, you were asked to do some weird positions. For example, a cow's face, a camel, a dog. And then the teacher also told you, this is supposed to be your lifestyle. How many times a day do you look like a camel or a dog during the day? How many times a day you do such things, such movements? So what are we supposed to do? We are supposed to ask questions. It is not a belief system. If you believe that doing a camel pose will help you, I met one lady, very devoted yoga teacher. She said, doing this shoulder stand, Sarvangasana, would help me, help anyone. She was very strict about it. It will help anyone in all kinds of problems with the thyroid gland. I had a friend sitting next to me who had recently survived thyroid cancer. She said, I was operated. They had to remove the glands. Would it help me to of course it will help you. This is what is heard when we go for yoga classes. That this position will help you in something, that position will help you in something. And we believe it blindly. And not only we believe it, we repeat it blindly. We don't ask enough questions. We don't ask the right questions. If we don't ask the questions, it will always remain a belief system. See, there is a very small difference between belief and knowledge here. Belief is what you cannot experience, what you cannot prove to be true in this lifetime. If there is heaven or hell, this is a belief. I haven't met a person who would come back and say, it was really comfortable there, you should book the tickets for heaven immediately. Or somebody from hell who came back and said, it was hot there. I think some people would like it, especially from the northern Europe. It's hot there. But, yeah, I have 5 minutes left. So, if it is not a belief system, how do I make a knowledge system out of it? Firstly, I have to ask questions. We have to stop believing the teacher. See, a devotee is in a temple, is in an ashram. A student is in a classroom. The roles are to be properly separated one from another. And if they are not separated, unfortunately, we become devotees in the class. And then we start poking into things in the temple. If you believe your teacher, the knowledge stops there, the study stops there. What remains is repetition of certain cliches, certain concepts, which might be true, but not to their precision. I feel very blessed to be here because after a long time, I met some people, I met a setup where this belief system is taught as a knowledge system, where it is explained, and I think the students here should feel very blessed to be led by Pandit Sri Ram Sharma Acharya, afterwards Dr. Pranav Pandya, and now a very capable teacher, Sri Chinmay Pandya ji. I'm very thankful to you for quietly listening. Some of them were also smiling sometimes, very happy about it. And I'm looking forward to see you again all and be back to my home here. Thank you very much.